Hello everyone, Michael Bernoff here. Got a great video and some awesome practical information that you can use on how to be more productive in pretty much any area of your life. And on top of that, I want to talk a little bit about the word procrastination. You know, the thief of our dreams, the thing that stops you from getting your goals, that awful thing that kind of gets in your way when you got your to-do list. But before we start to run procrastination off a cliff and get out the guns and the dogs and chase it down, I do want to tell you that procrastination doesn't have to be your worst enemy. It can actually be a good friend if you use him or her correctly. Now, let's just say, for example, you're doing the thing that all of us humans tend to do. We want to get ourselves in better shape, lose a few pounds, and get into our swimsuit so we can look great for the summer. And let's say you bring your friend Procrastination along to the picnic. And you're meeting with some friends and they have jelly donuts and the second portion of food that your friend asks you for. Well, imagine your friend Procrastination came out and you procrastinated to eat that jelly donut. Or when someone offered you an extra helping of food, you procrastinated to follow through on doing it. Well, let me ask you this. Wouldn't then procrastination be a great thing because you didn't follow through on something you shouldn't be doing? So before we get mad at procrastination, let's just kind of put it in its little box over here and focus on something a little bit more important called being productive. Because why focus on why you don't do things? Let's get you to actually do them once and for all. So what gets you to be a more productive person? Well, obviously if you have a goal list or things you know you need to accomplish, things you'd like to get done, a dream board, or some area of things you'd like to accomplish in your life, you're probably asking yourself, why am I not doing them? Instead of how can I get myself to actually follow through? Well, logically, everything on that list, on the board, whatever it is, you should do because it would make your life better. You and I both know that. What stops you is actually emotions. And what I mean by emotion is the way you feel about the list, the way you feel about getting it done. I'm going to teach you 3 very simple things that you can do out of dozens that I know, how to feel a little bit differently and kind of dilute that feeling so you can stop procrastinating and start following through. So let's kind of take a look at your to-do list or your goal list. And I'm going to tell you 2 things you should do right away. The first one is this. If you have things on that board that aren't necessary to get done, they're way out there in the distant future, I'm going to recommend you do one of 2 things. And the first one I recommend you do is probably the easiest, one might scare you a little bit, is that if it's not necessary to get it done, you know you're not going to get it done, get out a Sharpie and just kind of cross it off on your list. You know, hypothetically, if it's on your computer, don't draw on the computer, but just kind of cross it off. And the reason why is, why burden yourself emotionally with something you're not going to get done? Now, if that creates a lot of fear in you, and you're one of those people that has a little fear with, you know, oh, what if I forget about it and it isn't in my future, you can do this simple technique called go get 2 postcards and 2 little index cards you can use. And I take the yellow one because you put it anywhere, you're not going to forget about it. And you might want to jot down, like, write the book that I've been talking about writing for 5 years. Or you might want to write down, you know, follow through on that person and call them that I promised I was going to call 5 years ago. Or do this or do that, or whatever that thing you said you were going to do. And put it in a spot where you can notice it, or off in a drawer. You can always grab it later. And that's part of what I call splitting the list. And all you have to do is get 2 cards, one of things you're really not going to do anytime soon, put it off to the side, and I like green because green's kind of like green means go and get started, and put down the things that are important for you to get done today, that are kind of musts, kind of necessary things to do. So first thing you can do is kind of cross off the things you aren't going to do. Second thing is you can split the list, and the third thing, which kind of sounds counterintuitive, is that if you have a big list of things that you avoid doing, adding to the list kind of sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Well, the reason I do this technique is when I first learned this, I really believe that I said the same thing you might have also. That kind of sounds crazy, Mike, but when I started doing it, I started feeling better about getting things done. And what that is called add to your list things that you knew you were going to do anyways today, things that are kind of ritualistic that you know you can do, that are easy to do, that can get you to feel a little more confident about your goal list. Things like, if you got to call your mom, write down call my mom, you know, call the phone company. Get things so you can start feeling cross off, check off, check off, check off, check off. And you'll feel better about yourself, and you'll start doing other things in your list. Because the reason why we procrastinate is we feel like getting what we want is so far off. But imagine you become a person that starts making progress on more of a regular basis. Add to your list, cross off the things you don't need, put things you know you can get done on your list, split the list, and I'm going to tell you, your emotional involvement with getting it done is going to be way more fun, and you'll start being a person that takes more action. So look forward to working with you. Use 1, 2, 3 of these techniques, or just think about them for a little while, but as you start using them, you're going to start becoming more productive in your life. So take care, have a great day, and go out there and take some action.